Hi, everyone. Today, we're here to talk about work order management and getting a deeper understanding of incident types. Who am I? I'm Dave Sigler, principal consultant with Velosio, with over 26 years of field service experience. Incident management fact of the day. Using proper incident type setup and assignment to work orders will empower your resources with the tools required to not only complete their work, but also ensure that the proper steps are utilized. This will not only decrease the amount of information required by the resource to input, but also ensures that you have the proper data points to track the metrics to improve your team's efficiency and product quality. So what are some of the major pain points? Of course, not having this properly set up, it will decrease your first time fix rates. And what that means is sending the wrong skill set to the site, or it could be them not having the proper documentation or the proper parts to complete a repair or a service. Resource utilization not maximized. This is where your durations, if you know how long it should take a resource for a certain repair or service, um, it's where those aren't utilized properly and you're not able to stack repairs or services on your resource to increase their utilization rates. Resources not utilizing up-to-date documentation. Um, as mentioned earlier on the first time fix rates, this could be them not using the proper documentation or having the not having the latest version. Resources not equipped with the proper tools to select proper outcomes. What that means is they are not able to drop their resolution into the proper buckets that you can use later for your metrics to identify items that increase your repair rates. Contributors, as mentioned, first time fixed rates impacted. It's the wrong skill sets dispatched. Of course, you don't want a plumber at an electrician job. Utilization impacted. No standardization of estimated duration to complete services. What this means is you don't really know how long your resources should be on site. Resources using out of the date documents. This of course is improper document controls. This could mean the resources are using the old documents that are not the latest version or improper documents not following correctly. Resources having to search or guess outcomes. Improper data collection driving bad metrics. If you don't have buckets to help start to look at your failure trends and you don't have the proper buckets to put those repairs and services in, your metrics are not going to be clean and you're not going to be able to drive to improvements. So now let's look at maximizing your effectiveness of incident types. The very first thing you need to do is understand your devices. Ensure you have a good understanding of the equipment you service. What are the types of faults or services? Um, you know your devices. What could go wrong with the device, and what services do you provide for it? Is there a standard duration required to complete a repair or service? As mentioned earlier, this is knowing how long a repair or service should take for a resource. What skill sets are required? As I mentioned, you definitely don't want to send a plumber to an electrician job. Are there any specific documents required? These could be service documents, this could be troubleshooting documents, and are there specific resources for the fault or service? I'm sorry, specific resolutions for the fault service. So the resolutions, this is what I talked about earlier about having buckets to identify your fault trends. So that's when you look at the metrics, you can start identifying where your improvements can come from, either on the service side or on the actual product side. So maximizing effectiveness of incident types on the setup. So from the screen that you see here, this is from incident types in D365. Number one, you want to use meaningful and searchable naming convention. As you grow and you start to bring more devices in, of course, if you have a standard naming convention, that will help with searchability of your incident types. Add estimated duration. As I mentioned earlier, this is duration of how long the repair or the service that you're providing takes. And the system does have a way it has an algorithm that will go in and look at those and give you suggestions as time goes on and you collect more data on your incident types. Add products. These could be any products that are required for the service or the repair. Add services. This could be any services that you need for the repair. Perfect example is an HVAC system, and you have your repair, but then you have a special service for charging the system with gas. Add service tasks. Or service tasks are tasks that the resource are required to complete while they're on site. And there's actually what's called inspection templates that can be added to these as well, which are like specific questions to faults or services that the resource is providing. And they can actually have logic within there to drive the questions that are asked. Add characteristics. Characteristics are your skill sets. This is just saying for this repair or this fault type, we need this skill set to go on site. And then add resolutions. As mentioned, these are your buckets. This saying for this fault type, these are the type of resolutions that could fix that fault type. Or perfect example is if you have a device and you have a fault type of power failure for that device, you could have buckets to where it could say power supply, it could say power cord, just different types of resolutions that could come out of that type of a repair. So in closing, your team will become more efficient, utilize the proper documentation, and reports will be available to drive improvements. All of this is possible by understanding the devices you service and properly setting up incident types to meet your team's needs.